vibrant heart of Kampala, the city's pulse is felt through its bustling streets and rhythm of its public transport. The city has a daily workforce of over 4 million people commuting to and from work. An estimated 1.5 million residents travel primarily using the informal minibuses and the border motorbike taxis that lack set routes, schedules or standardized fares. Pick-up and drop-off points shift sporadically. Commuters face long, unpredictable wait times in unbearable heat or heavy rain, and fares sometimes fluctuate as much as 100%. For years, the public transport system has been plagued by issues ranging from overcrowding, unreliable schedules, poor state of roads, old vehicles, limited access for vulnerable groups to safety concerns. Users grapple with inefficiency, disorder while city authorities struggle with reining in the chaos. The public transport situation continues to deteriorate, leaving many users frustrated and sometimes stranded. Borders and minibus taxis continue to operate haphazardly with limited regulation, often ignoring traffic rules, designated routes and pickup points, not only causing inconveniences but also posing safety risks for passengers. Kwizera and Justin, market vendors, rely on public transport to sustain their livelihoods while highlighting accessibility, affordability, and safety concerns.
My name is Kwizera Ivy. I'm a market vendor and as well as a student. I found border cheaper on my side because they pick you from where you boarded them to the exact place where you're going. The first challenge, you have to move the main road where you have to pick this border. The place is insecure and you can fall into things, they take your things. And second of all, the border, some of them are drunkards. You cannot notice it at the first time. And in such a situation, you can easily get an accident and then you lose your life just like that. And the third challenge, the border can fall into a pothole, the star can easily tear up and the things scatter on the road and they are stepped on by the moving cars, and which may lead to losses. Another thing is about the time that I usually get this mode of transport very early in the morning at 4 a.m. But because there are very few on the road, they have to increase the cost like 2 times.
Erinnya nze Namatovu Justin, ntunda cabbage mu katale k'e Kasubi, nkolera mu shelter gye, nsula Kasengejje Wakiso. Ffe tukeera okujja naye tukozesa taxi, ntega alamu oba olumu wa taxi yankubira kusituza okuka ssaawa 10 zennyini ne twetegeka kuba taxi etuukawo ssaawa 10:53 kati wa taxi yankeera wankubira essimu nga nduka nga neetegeka nga mmanya nti nno mu ddakiika ezo zinsanga ku kkubo era we ndaba ziwezo 3 nga tugenda ku kkubo we tulindira taxi. Ku Lwomukaaga Olusemba mu mwezi owa taxi takola, aba agenze aba tute bantu bukalango takola era awo tutambuza bigere twekuŋŋaanya ng'era we tugira mu taxi tuba twemanyi batuukawo ne batulinda ne tujja ne tubasanga tutambula ne tugenda gye tukolera naye obuzibu bwetusanga mu kkubo eyo nga tutambula akageri ke tujja ekiro ng'ate taxi tezze musobola otambuza ebigere musobola ofuna abantu abayinza obareetinga mu kkubo waliyo ekisenyi muyinza otambula muyinza osanga ababbi bazigoba era bwe muba temuyinako omusajja ekyayinza n'obbaluma oyinza otula mu taxi nga yababbi weekanga bakubye ssente zo bakubye essimu yo olumu bakubye ne bukukuba tambula zeetaaganyiriza yongerako yawaffe ko kati taxi erimu emu enkeera.
Meet Nadia, a secondary school student whose daily commute is a testament to her dedication to education. Nadia represents groups that reflect the need of public transport services that are gender sensitive and are mindful of the mobility rights of women.
My name is Nakulima Nadia. I'm a student in senior. I leave home at 5:30. I take taxi to school. Sometimes it's hectic and sometimes I find it easy for me to take taxi. Though sometimes I choose to take border. When I take taxi, I find a lot of jam on the way. And when I take border, I don't trust it at all because sometimes it moves so speedy that I feel like it may drop me or something. Our challenge is the taxi fare is very much for us, me as a student. And sometimes the taxi men use shortcuts I don't know, and shortcuts I don't understand. Then they drop me somewhere I don't know, and I'm forced to move to school. Other taxis are very old. They break down on the way, and I'm forced to walk since the taxi is in very bad condition. And when I take borders, as I said before, they drive so fast. Like sometimes I feel tears in my eyes because of the cold air that enters in my eyes. I find it risky for me. I feel uncomfortable because once I took a border, they tried to snatch my bag away from me. I felt very vulnerable because I didn't know what to do at that moment. So I just screamed, and the people around helped me get my bag back. I find borders very reliable because they are fast, but at the same time dangerous for me because they don't respect traffic lights or jam or anything. I've never actually missed a mathematics paper. I left home early thinking if I take taxi, it will be very easy for me because I had a paper at 6. Instead, I took taxi. It took a lot of jam in Kasubi. The jam stopped at around 7. At around 6, if I had a paper at 6, I reached school at 6:30 when the paper had already ended. Female students face a lot of challenges. Me as a person, I don't feel comfortable sitting next to a man I don't know because I'm a female. I don't know what the man will do to me. Unlike the boys who will be like, he's a fellow man, I trust him. A taxi is supposed to carry, a seat is supposed to carry like 3 people. They squeeze you 4 people, yet we are paying the same amount of money. And instead of like maybe women at least, but they squeeze you with men, a lot of men. When you sit in a taxi or a border, you can tell a border guy and be like, I don't want you to add on me any person. If you're to add on me a person, add me a lady. Then you reach in the middle of the way and you're about to reach, it's like get off. Or I'm adding a man because you have less money. They would start by removing the old taxis from the roads and maybe sensitizing people about the dangers of overspeeding, driving while drunk. They could help to patch up the potholes in the roads and the conductors to be more kind to the passengers while they are driving because they try to take our change. If I give the conductor a lot of money, don't return to me the exact change you're supposed to give it to.
Alan, like many workers with caregiving responsibilities, has to navigate a very informal public transport system with unregulated fares and timing of services, which causes them to reach their workplaces late, increasing their time poverty.
Manya gange bantana kamuga aleni kolera kasubi ndabijanjalo kawo kera sawa 10 nenzukusa abaana nembanaza nembafikira chai ne banywa amala okunywa notengenda kukubo neminya boda yasatu nembatwala kusoma kuziwe nfuna nsanga jamu mu kubo passport abamungi tukaleti bakasoma nsanga bagezi oluso yinza sanga ababbi mu kubo ne bakusikako kasawo ka sente.
Meet Majo, a woman who has broken the barriers of employment in public transport. Majo is proof that a just public transport system can only be responsive to women if it is accommodative to women as workers.
My name is Mary Majo. I've been using this bike as my transport. I also thought of adding it value, taking people. Whenever I leave home and I enter the road, I have to know that it is only me who knows what to do. I really ride carefully. Some other people are riding arrogantly on the road. The more you keep the rules on the road, the more safer you are. The more you break the rules on the road, the more problems you get. Most people don't believe that ladies can also ride like bikes, however much they drive. Someone is having something and say, hey, will you manage this? Maybe let me call a man. Those who are using the app, they're now hearing the voice that is for lady. Someone is switching off the phone and cancelling, and some others are rejecting them. and some others don't even support them. They don't give them enough money. People need sensitization to know that even ladies are doing this. I assure you that there is no any lady who comes on the road when they have not passed through the training.
According to an ILO study from 2018, only 20% transport workers are women. Musa, a daily commuter, faces his own set of challenges using public transport, including road safety consciousness of transport operators, coupled with poor infrastructure.
My name is Ekiku. I stay in Kampala. Within Kampala, I use borders. Reason, they are fast. There is too much jam in Kampala. So I might plan my journey early in the morning. Like I have to meet someone, some Kampala Road at 8. Then you sit in a taxi from Nansana up to Kampala. It might take me 3 hours. So I have to use a border to rush to town and probably back home. But the borders are costly depending on the peak. Because like early in the morning, those guys can charge you highly. And if you are using a taxi, let me say from my place to town, they can charge 2,000 to 3,000. Sometimes you don't have money and you get a border which is a bit big. There are these ones which are long. I don't know how they call them, our boxers and what. If I'm giving him small money, let me say 4,000 to town, he's going to add another person. Okay, we are two. The third person he was adding, or the second to me, was a thief. So they tell you extent. So if you sit in front of them, you will find that as if you are falling, they put their hands in your pocket. Secondly, one time I was from Busega, a bit late at night, going back home. I got a border. We agreed on the money, so it was around 7,000. When I reached my stage, when I'm getting off, I gave the guy 20,000. The guy just took off, realizing that that is also another style of theft. That I had one saying, "Bamukubye kachungwa," and there is no way you are going to get him. Bad driving, you just tell the person. Once I jump on the border, I tell the person to take me slowly or carefully. Don't go that side. But others are road. They're like, this is my border now. You don't make rules on my border. I normally don't want teenagers because their speed is terrible. I want someone who is a bit mature and he looks responsible. Maybe he has a family or responsibilities. But these other young ones, no, I don't. It is risky, most especially at night for ladies. Because these border people normally take them where they don't want or in the risky areas. But for a man, I can even jump off. We have policemen on the roads, but their main focus is on vehicles. Yet, even motorbikes need to be checked. For example, motorbikes, they don't have helmets, they don't have riding gears, for example. They don't have permits. They drive or they ride the way they want. Take an example of traffic lights on the road. You just get someone, they just cross anyhow they want. These people are doing a lot of bad riding on the road and nobody is caring about them. So I think that one should be strengthened. Once that one is strengthened, I think we can have maybe fewer who can ride. 2, they should go to riding schools or driving schools and they are taught. But these days, what I see, whoever is out of school, they just give them borders and they start fitting on the road. We have very poor roads. Even the feeder roads are bad. And when it rains, you get so many accidents. So even someone who is taking you will tell you, I will not take you because the roads are slippery, the roads have potholes. So I think that one should also be improved on.
I leave home at about 4 p.m. 4 p.m. 3:30-ish. I use a border from Kungu stage to Chisasi roundabout, the northern bypass, and then I get a taxi from there to Kalere roundabout, or where the market is. And then when I reach Kalere, it depends on how time bad I am. Sometimes I take a taxi from Kalere to Makere, Eastern Gate, or if I'm time bad, I take a boda still. And then when I reach the Eastern Gate, I then trek to wherever my college is. The first challenge I have with bodas, they are very rowdy on the road. So someone will be driving, and instead of staying in your lane, maybe there's a bit of traffic, you're held up, then they'll try and go into the other lane. So I'm always feeling quite insecure with that. They are really operating by they make the rules as they go. Sometimes they're riding so fast, other times they don't have safety wear. So now when they meet traffic on the way, they will try to dodge traffic officers and then maybe go fast or really take turns that are so risky. There's an incident I had with one border man. I actually hailed him because he looked mature, he looked like he has a family and he's responsible. And then this gentleman, while on the way, he tried to overtake a car. He was going at a high speed. This was a junction, there were cars coming, joining the main road where we were at. I tried to tell him, that's so risky, like pause for like a second, let that car go right in front of you and then we'll go. And then he told me, Bandaba, like, I know he can see me as well. So these guys are quite not very cautious when it comes to safety on the road. They put their safety in the hands of other drivers, and yet we really don't have an option. I mean, those are the only means available. The biggest challenge I have with taxis on the Northern Bypass is they are very old. Very old. As soon as you sit in it, it's already shaking. All the cushions or the seats in the taxis are so worn out. They tend to pack people. Where you're supposed to sit 3, they'll put you 4. Also, there are incidences where these taxis, you get a taxi that's leaving Kalere, heading to town but through Wandegea. And then you ask them, are you passing Mulago up or Eastern Gate? This guy will tell you, I'm passing Eastern Gate. And then you sit, only for him to take you up to Mulago and go through Wandegea, that side down. So it's quite inconveniencing because then I'll have to get out, pay him, and then spend more money that I hadn't really, accounted for. I hadn't planned for. And then I jump on another border to now take me back to the right route that I was supposed to use. Borders are very reliable. Putting the safety bit of it aside, they're so reliable. If I have a lecture at exactly 5 p.m. and I leave home, let's say at 4:30, as soon as I jump on a border, I know I'm assured to be at Makere Eastern Gate in the next 20-25 minutes. Lucky for me, I use only taxis on the Northern Bypass, so there's usually a bit of traffic, especially if the presidential convoy is to pass from Mulago. So if you're unlucky and you find such an incident, or it happens on the day that you're going to campus, then you're going to have to sit there and wait. But otherwise, on a normal day, Northern Bypass really doesn't have a lot of traffic to hold you up. They need to sensitize these guys. These guys need to respect their job, especially when it comes to border guys. And also, one thing that will benefit, especially taxis along the Northern Bypass, maybe they can talk to these guys so they fumigate their taxis. I don't know, something for, given that a lot of people from all walks of life and all, different standards of hygiene use these means. We don't know, you're sweating, you're leaning on this cushion that has like a cloth covering on it, you're leaving all those germs, someone else is coming. And these guys are not really keen on maintaining their things. One time I took a taxi going to campus. I saw a bed bag on the rooftop of the taxi moving. My heart sank. And then even in the evening as I was coming back, I took another taxi and I saw another bed bag. So really, one thing about Northern Bypass taxis, they're so old. A conductor will literally need to first step out of it and give it a push, like manually, for it to move. I don't know how that can be worked on. I mean, we want them to stay in business. They make our lives easy, but if they could work on that to make our experiences a little enjoyable. Traffic officers, if they've decided to, implement the laws as it's required, let them stand by it. Because most of them will pull over these drivers and then, they get squeezed something small in their palms and then they let them go. If it can be worked on, let them stand by it. Let them be strict on the border, guys. I feel like it will enforce them to get what is required, so they don't collide with each other and everyone lives happily ever after.
My name is Nagawa Amina, a student at Shambogo University. I live in Wakiso. I get a boda from home up to the stage. After getting to the stage, I get a taxi up to the town. After reaching the town, I board another taxi up to the stage of the campus. I get a boda up to the gate of the campus. Challenges that I face while using these means of transport. First of all, they delay. You start moving while timing yourself, but at time you find yourself when you reach at the time that it wasn't timed by yourself. Poor maintenance of the seats that we use while using those taxis while going to the campus. About the safety concern, accidents, we find accidents, sitting with people who are criminals. Mostly I feel unsafe using a boda, but if it comes to the taxi, at least I don't expect much accidents when I'm using a taxi. What I suggest that they should do like proper seats for those people who have disabilities so that they can also be comfortable using those means of transport. They should do like services for their taxis in order to move well for our travels.
For individuals with disabilities, the journey through Kampala's public transport scene demands courage and tenacity.
We cannot access walking ways if they are there anyway. In some places like downtown, there are no walkways or wheelchair ways. Where they are paved and there are no ramps to reach you a raised level. But when it comes to taxis, like buses, etc., they are not accommodative for persons with disabilities. Those of us in wheelchairs, we don't have entry to the buses, to the taxis. Taxis don't want to carry our wheelchairs. Once they see you with a wheelchair on a stage, they think you are two, you and the wheelchair. And normally they charge the wheelchair. That's a problem. When we are all standing on the stage and some people are not with disabilities like me, they will take those without disabilities, thinking that me, I am delaying them. Me, I'm wasting their time. If I had a taxi, a bus where I would wheel and enter, it would be even quicker than an able-bodied person. Before even I get out, if I have not carried a helper, I'll have to call people on the street. Please come and help me. Good enough Ugandans are good people. 95% will help you. They will come, pull out the wheelchair and assist you. But once I've moved out, then how to wheel in the Kampala streets with the potholes, steps, all kinds of obstacles, including metal bars. They made a crossing, zebra crossing. But at the end of it, they put metal bars such that a wheelchair person cannot go through them. I hear they are trying to prevent boda from passing there. But now, how about me? I have the money, but I have a challenge. Getting out of the wheelchair, you have steps on your shop, it is going to take us time. But if you are educated, when I call you, you know, this one is also a customer. Because the money I'm going to give you has no disability. Walkways must be constructed where people walk. And we assist everyone, the crutch people, the pregnant, the sick, wheelchair users, everybody. Let us create Kampala walkways. Yeah, the issue of accessibility does not concern me only as a person in a wheelchair. It concerns so many people who are physically challenged, who are visually impaired, who have hearing impairment.
My name is Shamim Nampija. I'm the Communications and Administrative Assistant at National Council for Persons with Disabilities. I stay in Kawempe. And as a woman with a disability, it's quite difficult. It has some challenges. Where I stay, you have to walk a bit longer to go to the taxi stage, and also having to wait to get in because I have a physical disability. So some of the taxis entrances are very high. You need to have support to enter the taxi and also support to get out of the taxi. And then for borders, they are a bit economical and very useful to persons with disabilities because it takes you from A to point C. The riding of the border riders, it's a bit frightening because in Kampala, you can be there and then a border just fetches you from offside the road and then you're in an accident. So I did use them previously, but because of my health currently, I find that I'm unable to use them because of my back. And then when you're disabled, people have this say that disabled people have kajanja, or lugesi, because I tell people that I do not stand by the side of the road. And most of them want me to come by the road, you come by the road. Currently, I'm not solely relying on taxis and borders. My parents actually offered me the use of private transportation, that they got me a driver who they pay, which has been okay. But on other days, I use Uber. I cannot tell you that I have felt safe using public transport, even with private transportation. So I tend to be the quiet passenger. Yeah, don't move, don't shake, don't antagonize. Yeah, because of the lack of security and safety. We need a lot of mindset change in the transportation system. Basically, the taxis, the border riders, the traffic officers, all those people, because the attitude towards persons with disabilities is quite unbecoming. So someone may stand by the side of the road waiting for public transportation, and the taxis just ignore the person. Even the borders just ignore the person. There are persons with visual impairment who can't even dare to cross streets in Kampala because of how people are driving. Yeah, but also the support when a person with a disability is trying to cross the street. Who is there to support that person? But you find that the taxi has stopped where there's a big hole in the ground, and you as a person with crutches, you're like, now how am I going to cross from here to there? Our roads need a lot of improvement.
Each journey that we've seen is a testament to the need of equitable access, availability and affordability to transport for all city residents regardless of their gender or socioeconomic status. There's a clear need for intervention, for comprehensive and sustainable solutions that will enable Kampala to have a public transport system that works for all. Initiatives such as introduction to higher capacity buses, enforcement of traffic regulations, designated route charts, improved infrastructure to cater for accessibility for persons living with disabilities, pedestrians, the elderly, school-going children would all improve the situation. We hope that these stories will be a call for concerted efforts by all stakeholders to ensure that city residents travel safely and efficiently. Until then, commuters will continue to navigate a chaotic and unpredictable journey every day.